Stay behind me. Like frigid depths. Cycle of a change of
Okay,
perspective.
we have Sanhua's fast combo. I have killed this so much faster if I didn't get cancelled there by the animation. But yeah, that's a short showcase of my Sanhua Aalto team. Okay, now let's look into Sanhua's skills. First, let's look at Sanhua's Aalto, the main reason why I'm picking her for Aalto support. It increases basic attack damage amplified by 38%, which is a huge amount. Now let's look at Sanhua's main mechanic, her forte circuit or passive. If you hold left click, you'll see this cursor moving left to right. When it enters the highlighted zone, there'll be a flash on your character. If you release it while it's outside the zone, you just do a normal heavy attack. If you release it within the zone, you get Detonate. What Detonate does is that it explodes all ice constructs that Sanhua creates. She can create them by using her Resonance skill E, her Resonance Liberation, her R, and also her intro.
Stay behind me.
The highlighted zone starts off pretty small, but it can increase 2 times, either by using basic attack 5, Resonance skill, or intro. Her Resonance Liberation instantly maxes out the zone. Okay, so now let's look at the tips and tricks for using Sanhua. Getting her basic attack 5 off is really crucial because it gives her a bunch of buffs. Even if you cancel it, you actually still get the buffs. You can see the clarity increase here. There are a few faster ways to get her basic attack 5. One is to use heavy attack to cancel. It brings you straight into basic attack 4 and 5. Instead of starting off with basic attack 1, you can start off with E and then go straight into heavy attack. Another way you can do this is by using intro. Intro into heavy attack, basic attack 4 and 5. It's way faster than doing your normal basic attack string. Another thing you could do is to use your E after Detonate. This will still explode both constructs at the same time. Other cool things you can do is using a swap to cancel your animation. So Sanhua's skill still goes through. Now in a real fight, I start with intro, into heavy attack, basic attack 4-5, and then do the ultimate Detonate E, and cancel my E with Q. Sanhua does pretty good damage with her AoE. And the buffs she gives are really high too. Also, this rotation fills up Sanhua's Concerto energy from 0 all the way to 100, so you can pretty much guarantee every single time that Sanhua's Aalto will proc. I get Sanhua's Aalto off, do the full combo, and you can see that I got Sanhua's Concerto energy full at the last moment. For Sanhua's Resonance energy, with the Moonlit Cloud set, and with a few energy regen substats, you should be able to get her ultimate back every single time. If you need more energy, you can always hold your Echo, your Heron Echo, so that you get more energy from it. So after one combo, I have this amount of energy. I do the same thing again, get Sanhua's intro in, and then just when I finish my first combo, I get my Resonance Liberation back. Heron actually does pretty good damage too. For her weapon, I recommend the Commander of Conviction. It's the best 4-star sword for her, since it gives the most attack. You can also run the Lunar Cutter, although this one gives less attack, although it triggers every swap in instead of only on intros. The 5-star sword is better for her, but for me, I'm not gonna pull for it since I think it's not as optimal. It's definitely best in slot for now, but I'd rather wait for like a different sword before I pull. For Echo set, I recommend the Moonlit Cloud set. This one synergizes really well with Aalto skill and gives a lot of buffs to the next Resonator. Use the Heron main Echo, because this gives buffs to the next character in and also gives you energy for it. If you're going for a DPS Sanhua, you could go with the Glacial set, with the Lampi Lumen Mara as your main Echo. This does a big amount of damage and really amplifies her damage a lot. For substats, I recommend going for enough energy regen first, and then crit stats, attack percent, and followed by Resonance Liberation and then Resonance skill. Those are the most important damage ones. For skills, I recommend upgrading Resonance Liberation first, and then Forte Circuit. These two are your biggest damage dealers. After that, you can upgrade normal attack and then resonance skill. Resonance skill is the big proportion of your damage bonus, but upgrading this talent only gives you a small upgrade for the E, and it's not as good as the Forte Circuit, since this is where the explosions are skilled. Intro skill also goes up by very little damage, so it's the last you should upgrade. And that's all for Sanhua. You can also use Sanhua with other basic attack scaling DPS characters like Encore and Lingyang, and maybe Kalcharo too. I've had a lot of fun playing with Sanhua and learning her rotations, so I hope you get fun with her also. Then that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!